Hello everybody and welcome back to our two-part series of making sugar and spice into custom Bratz dolls. If you're new here and you missed our last video where we made sugar, be sure to go check that out, link is in the description. So a quick refresher, I chose the look that we did for Sugar's doll, and Emma chose the look that we're doing for Spice's doll. We also just so happened to choose looks that ended up being from the same runway, and here is the look that Emma chose for Spice. I think this look is really fun and underrated, and I love how asymmetrical it is and how Spice is covered from head to toe in pom-poms. Alright, but enough talking, let's get started on Spice's doll. For Spice, I'm going to be using this Bratz Chloe head that has seen better days. I'm pretty sure her hair was definitely given the chop, and her makeup is really pretty though. I don't really know how to identify Bratz dolls. I'm not like that with Bratz, unfortunately. I know I don't really talk about Bratz dolls on my channel very often, but I really did love them when I was a kid. I loved watching all the Bratz movies, and I just had a few dolls in my collection. Nothing like a full-on Bratz collector, that's all. So obviously I'm going to be giving this Bratz doll a full reroot today. First I dunk the head into boiling water to soften up the vinyl and make it easier for me to remove all the excess hair still left inside the head with my needle nose pliers. Now I was doing everything exactly the same as I did for Sugar's doll, but for some reason it was a lot more difficult. If you're someone who plans on doing lots of Bratz reroots, I would probably recommend getting a heating pad so that way you don't have to keep dunking the head in boiling water. Now that the head is prepped, let's pick out the hair we're going to be using, which I have lots of black and purple nylon hair that is going to work perfectly for this reroot. First though, I paint the doll's entire scalp to better match the new hair color. Once the paint is dry, I take my reroot tool, which is just a needle cut at an angle stuck into an X-Acto knife, and then I am getting started on the reroot, alternating between these three nylon colors. And I'm sure most of you know how the reroots go by now, so I did most of this off of camera. Now for Spice's body, I didn't have a lot of Ever After High dolls left to work with, so I'm using this Ever After High Raven Queen doll. This is not the San Diego Comic-Con version. Before anybody freaks out on me, I've just gotta let you know. Now that the reroot's done, I'm going to pass the doll over to Emma to get started on Spice's outfit.
Hey guys, it's Emma. Now it's time to finally work on Spice's outfit. So we're going to take this black cotton material and we're going to cut out our pattern pieces in it. So I'm going to start out with the skirt piece. What I did was I just sewed it up and then I cut out this little notch just like Spice has. Now this skirt is on tight. I didn't want any of the puffballs coming off, so I had to make sure that it was real tight on her. And speaking of puffballs, I had to order these from the UK. Like, we don't have these in America for some reason. I guess Americans just don't use them this size? I don't know, but whatever. So I ended up ordering the three colors that I found the closest to Spice's outfit in this doll size, which is this lilac color, this deeper purple, and black. And now that I have all of my materials, we can finally get started on assembling the skirt. I am so excited to do this. Like, this was so, mind-numbing, and, I just zoned out and did this, probably while listening to, I don't even know, rock music. But I loved every second of making this. And the skirt is done, and it turned out amazing, and I didn't do the back because that's how Spice does it, and now we're gonna get started on the top. For the top, I just cut out a basic pattern piece. I didn't even bother hemming the top of it because I knew it would just get covered in puffballs, and then I cut out that little notch right there just like Spice has. Then off screen, I went ahead and glued all the puffballs on, leaving out some areas that Spice does not have puffballs on her outfit. And the back does not have any. And her arms do. Yes, they do. So off camera, I made these leg warmers, and now I'm just sporadically gluing these tiny puffballs onto the leg warmers. And I do mess up a little bit here. I accidentally dropped one of the balls onto her leg and there was glue on it and I had to peel it off, so Morgan, if you're seeing this, sorry. You never noticed before, and no one ever noticed, but now everyone will know. Oopsie.
And here is Spice's outfit mostly finished. I think Emma did an incredible job, and the detail with all the little pom-poms is so accurate to Spice's actual outfit. I love it. Now for Spice's face up, I am taking 100% acetone onto a Q-tip and just scrubbing away at all of the factory paint. It was about at this moment when I realized that Spice's shade of foundation is not matching her skin tone. I ended up fixing this later by body blushing with chalk pastel. For the face up, I am again referencing my Bratz doll off to the side, as well as the full mood board that I made and showed you guys during Sugar's video. I did work on Spice's face up after I did Sugar's, so I do think I felt a little bit more comfortable when it came to doing Bratz face ups, but not by much though. I mean, that was only my first face up on a Bratz doll. Spice's style of eyelashes seem to be a little bit thicker than Sugar's are on the bottom, so I tried to replicate that in this face up. For Spice's eyes, I am giving her an opposite side glance to Sugar's, so that way when they are stood side by side, it looks like they are looking at each other, and I just really love that detail. Here I'm sketching out an eyelid crease with my watercolor pencil. I did forget to mention this, but I do spray my dolls with Mr. Super Clear sealant before doing the face-ups. I did Spice's eyebrows in the same method I used for Sugar's eyebrows, which is starting off with a block of chalk pastel and then shaping it down with my kneaded eraser. And while I still have my chalk pastels out, I go ahead and do any blushing or contouring that I need to. Then I take my white watercolor pencil and try to highlight the brow bone. For Spice's lips, I am once again using the same method that I used for Sugar, which is taking my light brown watercolor pencil and outlining where the lips are going to go with acrylic paint later. I actually think that the trickiest part about doing a Bratz face up is making sure the shape of the lips is perfect, which is like kind of crazy because usually the lips are the easiest part of face-ups for me, but since the mold on Bratz dolls is like somewhat undefined, it's hard to see where exactly the lips should be placed. For Spice's eyeshadow, I'm starting off with a dark purple chalk pastel and gradually blending it into the white watercolor pencil. And here I'm just filling out where the pupils are going to be placed so I can get a better idea of how the eyes are going to look. After a few more layers of building up the chalk pastels, I think it is time to move on to my acrylic paints, starting off by painting the whites of Spice's eyes. Since Bratz dolls have much larger eyes than what I'm used to working with, painting the whites of the eyes is a lot easier and I have no complaints. I also gave Spice a white cut crease to match Sugar's makeup. Now I'm going to go ahead and paint Spice's lips with my black acrylic paint, and there will be no glossy lip in this video. Today we are going for a matte lipstick look. And since my black acrylic paint is out now, I might as well go ahead and paint on the eyelashes and the pupils. Also for Spice's cut crease, I wanted it to have a gradient into a lilac purple. Then I got out my dark purple acrylic paint to add a little more pigment to the eyeshadow above the crease. Then I thought doing this hid the gradient a little bit, so I got out that lilac purple acrylic paint and added some of that onto the dark purple to make the gradient a little more obvious. Here I'm just adding a little bit of shadow into the whites of the eyes with a very light blue acrylic paint. Spice's face up is nearly done, now it's time to paint those irises. Of course I am giving Spice that cool toned classic icy blue eye color. For highlighting the irises this time, I just took this exact blue and then mixed it with some white acrylic paint, so that way it brightened up the irises a little bit without being too contrasting. Then I painted the pupils black because apparently I forgot to do that earlier when I was painting the eyelashes. And then I hold my breath as I paint a very thin line around the iris in a dark blue acrylic paint. For the catch lights, I'm using the same dotting tool I always use and adding a little dot of white acrylic paint. And with that, Spice's face up is finished. I am sad that we're not using any gloss today, but it's okay. I can sacrifice one use of high gloss varnish. For Spice's shoes, I'm using the same file that we used from Moonlight Jewel for Sugar shoes and painting one shoe black and the other shoe purple. And then with a couple more finishing details such as ribbon straps, Spice is done. Thank you guys so much for joining us on this customizing journey of Emma and I making two of our favorite drag queens into custom dolls. It's really awesome getting to see dolls represented in other forms of media, especially drag. I love seeing when drag queens are inspired by dolls to do their looks, and I hope the same thing can be said for fashion dolls in the future. I want to see a lot of fashion dolls be inspired by drag queens. That would just be super amazing. If any of you are wondering if you'll be able to buy these customs, I'm sorry, but the answer is no, but that is because we are actually sending Sugar and Spice to the Sugar and Spice, which I'm very happy about. I didn't want these dolls to go anywhere but to them because these dolls were made completely with admiration for what they do, and I just am really excited that they're going to be in their own collection. Once again, huge thank you to designer ECE for making these customs with me. Without her, these dolls would not be as glorious and amazing as they are. And a big thank you goes out to all of our Patreons. Thank you so much to Hannah, Hunter, Lily, Ohio from Ohio, Emmy, Lisis, and Christian. Again, thank you guys so much for watching this video. Be sure to check out Sugar and Spice on their own accounts because they are amazing. Stay safe, stay healthy, drink some water, and I hope to see you in the next video. Bye!